think the rooms are true.
Hello everybody, thanks for coming to the Pitsea Area Committee. Just do the chairman introduction. This is a meeting of the council held in public. It is not a public meeting. There is no fire drill planned, so if the fire alarm sounds, please leave by the exit nearest the large screen at the front of the room and proceed down the fire exit to the courtyard. Once it is safe to return, councillors will receive a text message. Officers will also advise when it is safe to return to the meeting. We are recording the meeting this evening using our webcasting system. The webcast will be transmitted live and will also be available on the council's website following the meeting. All mobile devices should be switched off or set to silent so that the meeting is not interrupted by ringtones. I don't really need to do the other bit, do I? Okay, thank you. You'll have to excuse me, I talk with a little bit of a lisp because I've had an operation. My mouth's a bit numb, so that's the reason for it. Are there any, there's no apologies for absence, no, we're all here. Any declarations of interest? No. Have you all had a chance to look at the minutes? And we've got a couple of things I need to, on page, there's a couple of things that we need to agree on. The template hasn't been changed, and so on the minutes of the area committee, it's still got Councillor Ben Westwick down as the vice chair, and it should be Councillor Gillian Palmer. And also the voting page needs to be changed as well. It's got Councillor Westwick down, not as an independent or non-aligned. And the other piece was the delivery of the crunches. We did opt out of the October the 4th crunch, so it does say that we did 4, but we've only done 3. So if everybody's in agreement with those changes, you all agree with the minutes? Yep. Okay, thank you. And now we come to the community spotlight, which is from Pitsea Menshed. So I'd like to hand over to you. Thank you, Pete.
Thank you, Chair. I'm going to make a short presentation of how
What it was, but try that.
well, sorry, Peter, are you okay?
Yeah, that's all right. Sorry. Right, my presentation is how we come about to build the Menshed. And it came about because 10 years ago, from the National Lottery, the heart of Pitsea, which is SS 13 basically, received £1 million. And that lasted from 2012, initially for 10 years, till 2022. But because of the pandemic, we had another 2 years because we couldn't have any community involvement then. So we extended to 2024. Okay, now we call it the heart of Pitsea. It's basically Chalverton and some of the pure surrounding areas. It's mainly Chalverton, yeah. with approximately 3,000 homes, and we received that £1 million from the big lottery. It's called a big local. And it be used for the community until 2024. So it's, you know, it's about 12 years. A committee was formed, and from the residents' survey, every 3 months, we carried out what residents wanted and how the money was spent. How the money was spent. For everyone in the community, numerous events during these years were held, and residents frequently mentioned to do something about retired men. We've done a lot for the community as a whole, you know, with lots of events, you know, over the 10 years, and lots of money was spent on various things, you know, so playgrounds for children, and we had all sorts of things during the school holidays for the children. Yeah, so we spent a lot of money in the 10 years. So we formed a committee for this project, and we discovered a men's shed network, and we made inquiries about that. A budget was set aside about £50,000. Then that was when the Harley Pitsea was finished. Right? We formed another committee to spend that £50,000 on that project, on the men's shed. We looked for an area suitable for this project, and an area was found in Charlton, near the Charlton Community Centre. It was a big undertaking, actually. You know, we had to groundwork has to be done. There was, you know, all sorts of things has to be set in place, including obviously we need permission from the council. You know, where we can actually build that. It took us 18 months to get it from start to finish. To fit the workshop out with also workbenches, you know, and the electrics has to be fitted out. We were involved in all the how the inside has to be done, what we wanted, all the tools we needed, you know, to make the thing work. In the end, we opened the men's shed, I think it's March 25, which is obviously this year, and we were fortunate for the Mayor of Boston to come and open our men's shed. We had a little party, obviously, you know, and it was a really good time we had, and I think the Councillor Reid, I believe, was there. I remember. So that's basically what the history of it is. My colleague here will now tell you what we do in the men's shed and how we're going to progress.
Good evening. Okay, so we open now 12 hours a week. That's 4 hours a day, Tuesdays to Thursdays. This is limited because we're all volunteers. We give up our time freely to man the shed, to keep it open for those that want to attend. We limit it. We've set our own limits as being that one CRB checked and first aid trained trustee has to be in attendance at all times, and as well as a volunteer as well. That's our minimum requirement to keep the shed open. The size of our shed limits the attendees at any time to having 6 people plus the 2 organisers that are there. this can include one wheelchair-bound person, but sometimes this requires their additional personal escort as well, because some of the people that come, they can't speak for themselves or do things themselves. They have to be attended. But we cater for all. We provide all of the tools, all of the wood, all of the tea, all of the coffee, all of the biscuits, everything that you can think of, totally free of charge to all of our users. And I think we should celebrate that. And you know, and as I said, I need to repeat, we give up all of our time to make sure that that can happen. Some users that come in make things with the wood that we provide. Some just come for the atmosphere. Some enjoy the sitting down and chatting and having the tea and the coffee. And we just have to make sure we oversee and let them have a little go at things that they're not used to having a go at. But we have to make sure that their health and safety is adhered to, and try and make sure we don't lose any digits in the process. We're totally dependent on the Chelvedon Community Centre for water and toilets, which is a bit of a challenge because we've got no connection on site at all. The only thing that we've got is electric. Our users have voluntarily expressed the positive effect the shed has had on their lives. Confidentiality prevents me from expanding on this, but suffice to say that some changes have been life-changing and dramatic. The popularity is growing slowly, probably because we're not that good at advertising. And also probably because it's a sort of too good to be true belief. You know, you're giving somebody something for free and you're saying, come on in, and they just don't believe it in this day and age. At the moment, we operate a drop-in service, but as numbers grow, this might lead to a slot booking service to manage the room capacity. We consider our operations are self-sufficient, and we raise funds where we can to ensure the free service is maintained for the foreseeable future. We can guarantee, based on what we've got at the moment, that it will continue at least for the next few years. But if we can continue to raise funds the way we are, then it will be for the foreseeable future. We work alongside local businesses to use otherwise waste timber, thereby reducing our outlays on the most expensive commodity, that is wood, and also reducing landfill and other waste products. We accept donated tools from personal and business collections for use in our shed, as well as we can also sell things that we don't use that are donated, and this again helps us raise funds for our running costs. We maintain joint and good working relationship with the Essex Men's Shed Network for mutual benefit. We swap tools. We also benefit from them donating tools to us because they've helped us get going, because we are in our infancy, as has been said. We provide a useful walk-in handyman repair and sharpening service for the local residents in this sort of generally deprived area. Sometimes a packet of biscuits is all it costs to carry out a repair, or free if needed. That's the way we are. Most of all, we provide a safe place where all of those who enter the doors are made welcome. Everyone is met with a smile and an offer of a hot drink. Everyone's opinion is listened to, and we just enforce a few basic rules. That's it. I hope that tells you what we're about.
I would like to say a really big thank you for you coming this evening and letting us know all about the Pitsea Men's Shed. And I think that we all would agree that it's a fantastic thing. They are much needed. I think women will often talk to each other about things, but men find it more difficult. So I think something like this is very important because men don't open up very easily.
I think that's something I've missed out in my comments, but yes, it is very...
Yeah, and I think it's encouraging to know that people are coming along, and as you said, even if it's slow, it'll get there in the end.
Yeah.
And it's often very difficult to just walk into somewhere on your own, but obviously once they've been and find a friendly face and a free cup of tea and a biscuit, they'll continue coming. So I think it's fantastic what you're doing, and thank you so much for giving up your time and taking part in this.
Thank you.
Yeah, you can stay and listen to the rest of the meeting, or you can go. You're more than...
Somebody waiting.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be in touch, see if there's any other ways we can support you.
Thank you.
I have to say, you had me at biscuit.
Right, yeah. Were you going to give an update on the Pride teams? Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Excuse me. I'm pleased to share with members tonight an update on some of the recent works carried out by our good Pride teams, which are funded by the area committees. I'm here, so please accept Rob's apologies, who couldn't make it tonight at short notice. So I've got the slides up. The area supervisor for the Pitsea area is David Keeble. I understand that most of you, if not all of you, have now met David, who looks after your area. The team that work in the Pitsea area, we've got Gregory Brown and Billy Greenslade, both really good operatives, really competent and skilled. They carry out numerous tasks: hedge pruning, reductions, weed removal, trimming, weed spraying, some tree crown lifting and planting as well. The team are currently exploring some further training for the team moving forwards, things around some chainsaw maintenance by cross-cutting, and perhaps some tractor training in the near future as part of the grounds maintenance coming on board, because we'll have access to far more equipment, and if we upskill the teams, they'll be able to deliver a much wider range of tasks for the area committees as well. So lots of positive stuff for the team in terms of development. I've been sent some slides to share with you all today on some of the photos of the good work that's been carried out. So this is in obviously Mill Green area on the Chalverdon estate. It's a good amount of growth that's been cut back and tidied up, clearing that pathway, making that far more accessible for residents. I'll just move that on. Has that moved on? Yes. Again, another sort of, I think the team spent quite a lot of time on the Chalverdon estate this past month. So there's some more good work they've done on sort of clearing the pathways of vegetation and the weeds, and so just trying to maintain them so they're far clearer for residents. Some work on Travers Way. They removed a large self-set there, which obviously been there for some time, and again clearing a lot of overgrowth and weeds. I think you're familiar with Chalverdon, that the pathway surface, those red bricks, are really challenging to maintain and keep clear because of the constant weeds that are growing through. But but there's some good work being done on to try and keep those clean as well. Again, some more on Travers Way. You can see with that brick footpath, it really is difficult and takes a lot of labour. It's very labour intensive to dig out and keep clear. And let's be honest with you, within a short while it starts to grow back again. So, I think, as you're probably well aware, the Pride team spend a lot of time on this estate throughout the year. Again, some more sort of pruning of some of the hedges there on Travers Way. This is some work in Eastbrooks. Again, very similar issues with the footways. Some more footpaths in Eastbrooks. Apologies if I'm going too fast, please tell me to slow down. But yeah, so again, it's a lot of good work clearing up the weeds from that estate as well. There's a lot of alleyways, a lot of footpaths, as you'll know, and again, it's little rat runs, and it really does get a lot of growth, and like I say, it's a real challenge to keep maintained throughout the year. It's a bit more continued in Eastbrooks. You can see that path doesn't look like it's been looked at for some time on the right there, and that's made a real difference to not only visibility but the access issues and less slip hazards for residents as well. Mill Green Underpass, I've been there many a time over the years, and yeah, that's one that always is in need of a good tidy up. And again, it's nice to see that looking tidy again for the next period of time. Hopefully a good few months that will last now throughout the winter, and quite a lot of litter that's been sort of discarded in the little nooks and crannies around that area as well. Cobden Walk, looks like a huge amount of work's been undertaken there. A lot of these jobs, I believe, are reactive works that I think they've come via request from yourselves as well, so hopefully you're familiar with some of these requests that have been actioned as well. Some more in Cobden Walk. Again, hopefully it's highlighting a lot of good work that's been undertaken this past period of time. Again, sort of alleyways and rear areas that they don't get used for anything, so obviously open to a lot of antisocial behaviour, I'm sure. So again, keeping them clean and tidy, it's never going to stop it, but it will help the overall look and feel of the estate. Some work along Beanbridge and Pitsea High Road as well, being a big access point into the area. It's nice to see that sort of work being undertaken, cutting back a lot of vegetation from the nearby fences and the nearby properties. This is Kentview Mews. Again, quite a long pathway that can cause some real access issues for, I think for this one particular, for people doing school run, parents doing the school runs in the mornings. The overgrowth can really be challenging for people. So again, it's good to open that right out, open up all the visibility of the area as well, and again, hopefully make people feel more comfortable walking there, especially at night time. This next slide is just, sorry, it does look quite small, so I don't think I can zoom in on that. But we'll share this with you all. This is just the schedule for the winter prune that I've been passed from Ivy Verde, so it's due to start beginning of November in Parkside in the Briscoe Road area, and as you can see, it's the schedule throughout the whole of Pitsea, which will run right the way up until sort of March next year. So I'll make sure this is shared to all members, so they're aware of that should you get any queries around the winter prune, which due to start soon, which I'm sure will be is much relief. Yeah, that's a good piece of work to be started again. So that's everything on the Pride team. I have got a slide on the crunch, but I do appreciate we didn't do one in the Pitsea area in October, but nonetheless, if it's okay, I'll just share some of the key stats, because again, it was still another successful event. We have trialled some alternative locations, because I know trying to find another location in Pitsea has been a challenge for us, and we are determined to find you another location for the March crunch date. So again, it was a big success. Overall this year we've collected nearly 260 tonnes of waste, which is quite a staggering amount, just from a handful of events. So it's a real good news story. The recycling rate, we've been able to recycle around 41% of that waste as well, again, which is positive, because we're not just sending it for disposal. We're recycling as much of it as we can. And just from the event in particular, we collected nearly 32 tonnes of general waste. just over 3 tonnes of electrical items which are recycled, 5.5 tonnes of metal, scrap metal, and we've managed to recycle 13 tonnes of wood. Obviously, it was interesting hearing that the Pitsea Shed Club, the Men's Shed Club, need wood. I'm not sure if this wood is going to be suitable, but it's certainly something we could look at to see if there's something we can do there, because whether we have people at the site who can sort of check it first to see whether it's suitable or not, I don't know. Once it goes into a dust cart, it will get smashed up, but you know, we can certainly try and look at something if we can support providing some valuable material, because it's far better to reuse it than recycle it. So that's everything on the crunch. Happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you for that. I think we can all say that with the pride teams, that some of the places are unrecognisable once they've been cleared, which is fantastic. To me, not the downside, but I think it highlights even more how bad the parts are, especially on the Chalfordon estate, because a lot of the weeds were growing out of the holes. Now the weeds have gone, we see that there's even more holes than we originally thought. But I think that we can all agree that it's you know, fantastic work that's being done, and yeah, it's just going to take a long while to get around everywhere, and I think that is the biggest problem. To try and do the whole, because we've got 4 estates in Pitsea, which is a lot, so we're probably at a disadvantage. But yeah, it's fantastic.
Hi, I just wanted to say if you could pass a massive thanks on to the team, because Pat and I have been, absolutely brilliant. Pat and I have had, don't get me wrong, they work incredibly hard, but we've had real good fun with them. They've been a really brilliant bunch of people, and for me it was fabulous to see the public interacting with the bin men sort of sociably and pleasantly, rather than just cussing them for leaving things behind or getting in the way and they can't get out in the morning, that kind of thing. So it really was great, and they did everything with such good humour, didn't they, and helping people empty their cars and stuff. It was really heartwarming to see, so please pass on the thanks.
In regards to the wood that we are getting, obviously, from the crunch services, is there not any chance that we could deliver that to the men's shed? So therefore, obviously, the thing that they said they're struggling on at the moment is the transportation of wood and obviously the storage side, but we could see if they need wood immediately to be able to use, and then storage maybe we could figure out later on down the line. Just an idea.
Yeah, great work on Chalfordon. It's a challenging place to keep clean and tidy, and residents really do appreciate it. As we always say, there's more to do. I just echo the chair's comments about the pathways. I think, you know, all this great work that your team is doing, and those pathways really need to change. So I know that we've had some works done by Essex County Council, but that's always quite, let's say, bit of a slow burn to get done. Got a resident in Plumleys today that's only been waiting a year for some issues and work to be done outside his house. But I would just say this what makes me excited about the Pride in Place programme money that the government have given us for Chalfordon. So that's £20 million that can be used for infrastructure. So I think, you know, as soon as we know we can form those neighbourhood forums and those take back control forums where we can include residents and different partners, we really need to prioritise upgrading the infrastructure of Chalfordon, because those pathways, people deserve a lot better than that. So I'd just say as a group, let's just make a commitment to prioritise that with the funding that we're going to start getting as soon as possible. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Yeah. My only question would be that, again, doing an absolute amazing job. What is the programme moving forward to actually log these areas that have been done, to then revisit them again to make sure it doesn't go back? to how it does, or how it is currently or was? Thank you.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I could count nearly every 3 to 6 months the teams could go back to Chowdhury Estate and do the same work over and over again, and that's something I'll feed back to Rob and the team about how they schedule that in, and if it's okay with you, I'll get them to provide an update on how they're going to do that moving forwards. But you're absolutely right. I think the art is to try and design out these problems. We could just constantly go back time and time again, clear and weeds, but if we can find a way to design out those bricked footways, it's a much better way of solving that problem, so that we're not in this constant merry-go-round of every few months. Members obviously getting requests from residents saying, oh, the footpaths are awful again, and then obviously we're having to, like Councillor Reid said, we've got one team to go around the whole of the Pitsea area, and Chowdhury is a challenge on its own. You could almost argue that we need a team in there nearly all year round just to keep on top of it, and but so it's something I'll feed back to Rob and the team about how they scheduled it in, so that we're proactively doing that moving throughout the year.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, Alan, thanks for bringing those images along. I mean, what they've highlighted for me is how thorough the work is that the guys are doing. I mean, the befores and afters really are night and day, aren't they? So just pass on my appreciation to them and our appreciation for that work. Thank you.
I just wanted to as well say that when you said that the Crunch has collected 260 tonnes of waste this year, little calculation says that's 43 African elephants worth of waste. So well done, guys. I think we've done a good job.
Thank you. Right, we'll go on to the funding considerations now, and I'll hand over to Dave.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. A lot to go through, I have to say. I think this is the most funding consideration we've ever had in an area committee. So we've got 9 in total this evening. So I will start with the first one, which is a £2,000 funding award to BOSP, which is the Brighter Opportunities for Special People, for their skills project, and this will come from the Pitsea Believe in Baz. For those who don't know, BOSP is a small independent charity supporting families for over 33 years. Their Skills for Life project empowers children and young people aged 18 to 25 with complex disabilities and life-limiting conditions. BOSP is seeking £2,000 to support the BOSP Holiday Club and Skills for Life sessions, and these will be held at Wat Tyler Country Park from the 16th to the 20th of February early next year, so 2026.
Thank you. Councillor Palmer would just like to...
next door. Just wanted to say I've just pinged into my very small brain that my niece and her daughter both work for BOSP, so I feel I need to declare that and not be involved in it. Yeah. Sorry about that.
Thank you. I'll put it to the committee that we vote for the Pitsea Area Committee to fund £2,000 to BOSP. Those in favour? Thank you.
Am I allowed to? Abstention? No, just because I've got what's conflict of interest, because it's my niece works for them. Well, I'll vote for it anyway.
Yes, it was unanimous. Okay, we'll go on to the next item for funding, but before Dave actually speaks on that, can I just say that at our last informal meeting, which was held on October the 6th, Some of the members did ask Colleen if she could find out, because the actual funding came in asking us for 1,500, but the total amount for the scheme was 2,500, and so Colleen was asked to go and see if she could get some information on what they did want the other £1,000 for. So I'll leave it to Colleen to then explain to the meeting.
Yes, Chair. I spoke to Parkside CIC, and the overall project cost, so the additional £1,000, is used for meals. They provide a free meal to all of the children that attend the youth club. So that generally is about £30 a week, which does come to more than that 1,000, but I believe they get some support from Tesco's and with other economies. But that is what the additional cost for their project is for meals for the young people that attend.
Dave, if you'd like to.
Okay, so the next funding award is for £1,500 and to the Parkside CRC towards the purchase of play equipment for their weekly youth club, and this will come from the Pitsea North West Community Priority Fund, and that's revenue. Parkside CRC are seeking £1,500 to purchase play equipment and games for their weekly youth club. The project offers children in Pitsea a place to be social, take part in activities and build their confidence. It's provided free of charge, and they currently have approximately 40 young people attend each week.
Committee is an agreement that we add on the other 1,000 as well, so we would give them the 2,500. So anybody has any questions or no? Okay, we'll put it to the vote that 2,500 funding is awarded to Parkside CIC towards the purchase of play equipment for the youth club, and also for food for the children who get the free meal afterwards. All those in favour? Thank you. And now on to number 3.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. The third consideration this evening is a £1,600 funding award to the Pitsea School Uniform Bank towards the cost to hire their storage facility, and this will come from the Pitsea North West Community Priority Fund, and that's revenue. The Pitsea Uniform Bank provides local families with access to high quality school uniforms completely free of charge, and they are looking for funding to help with their storage facility, which enables them to taking donations all year round and providing easy access for Pitsea residents.
Any questions, comments on this?
No, sounds really good.
Okay. Put to the vote then that 1,600 funding is awarded to the Pitsea School Uniform Bank towards the cost to hire a storage facility from the Pitsea North West Community Priority Fund. All in favour? It's unanimous. Item 4.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Item 4 is a £630 funding award to the 5th Pitsea Brownie Unit towards the costs of badges, storage and rent of their building for their weekly club. This will come from the Pitsea North West Community Priority Fund, that's revenue. The 5th Pitsea are a local Brownie unit supporting girls aged 7 to 10 from the communities of Vange and Pitsea. Each week the group meets for 90 minutes at the Trenham Community Hall, and providing a safe, fun and empowering space where girls can build friendships, learn new skills and earn programmes and badges for their girl guiding. They do charge subs and the subs do cover some of the hall rent, but there's been recently an increase in this rent, and also they are now having to pay for them for storage within the hall. So they are seeking the £630 towards these costs.
Councillor Westwick.
Yeah, I think this is absolutely an amazing idea. Obviously, children of all ages attending clubs outside, whether that's, as we can see here, from the Brownies, Cubs, Scouts, Cadets. Just, I'm a bit curious in regards to the £630. How long will that last? So, my point is, should we kind of keep an eye on the 5th Pitsea St Gabrielle's Brownie unit, just in case they need any more funding moving forward? As you said, the rent's going up on the actual unit itself. So will they be struggling, let's say, in 6 months' time? So is this something maybe we should preempt as Pitsea councillors? Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments, questions? I think that's a valid point that towards the 5th Pitsea St Gabriel's Brownie unit. All those in favour? Thank you.
Isn't that the Cubs?
And we go on to 5, hand that over to David.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I think most will be aware of this item. We are seeking an additional £7,550 in addition to the £16,000 already allocated by this committee via carry forwards from last year for the modifications, improvements to the Nissan hut at the Wat Tyler Park. And obviously this is like a locomotive shed which stores the trains in a safe watertight space. Now this funding will come from the Believe in Basildon Fund, which is the capital. We have now received 3 quotes in line with the council's procurement processes, and that will improve the structure of the building, stripping off current metal sheeting, installing a new framework, applying a sandwich system for metal sheeting to make better insulation, some electrical works, replacement timbers, and providing necessarily scaffolding for the efficient and safe execution. It will bring the total cost to £23,550. And like I said, £16,000 was already agreed last year in 2024. So we're just seeking approval for the additional £7,550 investment.
Thank you, Dave. Councillor Callaghan?
Thank you, Chair. So I was aware of this at the last committee that we voted on, and I am supportive of this. I know it's a significant amount of our money, but it's everything all right? But it's also it's a historical monument at Wat Tyler Park. I know it's got Wat Tyler's got a strong industrial and military history. The Nissan huts are part of that, part of World War II operations, and I think that this money will just go a long way to securing and preserving that history of the place. So as I say, it's a big investment in terms of our budget, but I do believe that a lot of people, a lot of generations will get a lot out of it.
Thank you. Any other comments? Councillor Westwick?
Thank you, Chair. Yes, literally just to echo Councillor Callaghan, obviously the wording here is investment, because that is what the money is for. And as Councillor Callaghan said as well, it's for generations to come to be able to enjoy it as well as us and our children. I fully support this. So thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you. Any other comments? Okay, I'll put it to the vote then that we, in addition to the 16,000 already allocated, that we also have put the investment of £7,550 towards the improvements of the Nissan Hut at Wat Tyler Park. All those in favour? Thank you. And now we go on to item 6. I don't know whether Dave or Colleen, between you, want to talk on this one?
Why didn't we do a tag team?
Do that.
I'll do this bit and you do
it, and
that
I'll
bit.
just explain that.
Okay, yeah. So, we all know about this tragedy, obviously very close to our hearts. So, this would be a £2,850 pound investment toward a purchase and installation of a memorial bench and tree in memory of Roman and Darcy. This tribute will be sited at the corner of Punley's and Little Cells, providing a lasting place of remembrance for the community. And this will be from the Pitsea Believe in Basildon Fund and Capital.
And just to say, David, do you? No? Is your...
Yeah, sorry.
Just to say that the permissions have already been sought for that location, and I have spoken to their mother and just sort of asked her thoughts on the location, and I did explain that it would be coming forward to be voted on, and she was delighted to hear that it was at least going forward. So the bench itself is on a substantial base. It will go through the formal memorial process, so then if you do decide to agree on this funding, then I'll be liaising with the family, and there'll be 2 plaques placed on the bench. So, you know, each of Roman and Darcy would have their own plaque, and I'll be directly liaising with the family on it, and they will go through the normal memorial bench process, which will guarantee them the upkeep of the bench. The tree would be a donation from the Pitsea Area Committee, as they both would, but it would just go through a slightly different process. But
Thank you. And we're hoping also that it can be in place as in time for February, beginning of February, so that'll be the anniversary of when it happened. So it would be nice for the family to have something sort of permanent there for Roman and Darcy. Callaghan, then Councillor Baker.
Yeah, I just want to, express my full support for everything, we can do for the family that lost those poor young kids, and the family have really, they've shown so much dignity and grace and really held themselves, together the best they can, and it's great to see that the communities rally behind them. I understand that, the bench will be on a field where the kids used to play with their friends, so it's got significance to the family and the community, the kids who knew them, and just want to, send out love to the family, and just say this is the least we can do, and I hope that, it brings you some peace.
Councillor Baker.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, I mean, just really echoing that. I mean, obviously delighted to support this this proposal, and it was clear from the reaction that we saw firsthand at the vigil, at the funeral, and so on. What community support the family have had, and what a priority I think this would be. It was very heartwarming to see that. So yeah, it has my full support. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Any other comments? Okay, we will now vote on the amount towards 2,849 to go to a memorial bench for Roman and Darcy. Could we all? Yeah. Thank you. add on an amendment that we need a cherry picker for the to put the lights, etc., on the Christmas tree. We have the loan of a cherry picker, but we need to find an operator who has the correct qualification to actually operate the cherry picker for us. We've been informed this could cost an extra £400, so we would like to add that onto the costings for carols in the park, just in case we do need to do this. Obviously, if we don't use it, that money will be returned to the revenue account.
Thank you, Chair. So this would be now a 2,400 investment to deliver the community celebration Carols in the Park at Northlands on Wednesday the 10th of December, and this will come out of the community priority funds for all wards, and so that will be revenue. Like I said, it's scheduled for Wednesday the 10th of December. The funding will support delivery of a joyful and inclusive carols event for the local community, featuring music, festive lights and refreshment. It will involve the park staff who are going to assist with the setting up, and the funding will go towards making sure the event is safe, well equipped and memorable for all the attendees.
Councillor Westwick.
I'd just like to add, in regards to the cherry picker and looking for an operator, I shall ask around in some of my contacts that I have within the grounds maintenance and hard landscaping division, and people that I've obviously crossed path with previously. And what I will do is I will let the chair know of what I am pretty sure will be a positive outcome. So thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank.
Apologies. In addition, then that will save us the £400 funding. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Westwick. Any other comments or questions? No. Okay, so can we vote on 2,400 for celebrations, carols in Northlands Park, and obviously if we do get somebody who can operate the cherry picker, that money can be returned to the revenue account. All those in favour? And the last, the one before the last, the delivery of 2 additional crunch services in Pitsea.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Alan mentioned earlier, obviously, the success of the crunch. We're proposing a 3,000 investment for delivery of 2 crunches for Pitsea. Venue TBC at this stage, and the 2 additional crunches will be on the 7th and 21st of March next year, and they would take place on Saturday morning between 9 and 12:30. And like I said, the venues for these are yet to be confirmed.
Thank you. Just to add that I have had an email from Bowers Gifford Parish Council requesting the crunch in Bowers Gifford, again located at Westlake Park. I believe that when this was suggested previously, we were told the location would be problematic because of safety concerns. But I feel that it would be a good idea to look into this again. If we can't use Westlake Park, to find another location in Bowers Gifford, and at least then we would have a crunch in Pitsea and another one in Bowers Gifford, which would I think be beneficial to a lot of people.
Out of curiosity, I've just got a bit of a question on the 2 dates that are proposed, obviously for March time. Is there no way we could possibly get one at least put into January at the beginning of, obviously, to deal with the Christmas overflow of present? I'm getting a head shaking no from, so I'll pass you over.
We've already spoken to James Hendry about the times, and he has to do them when it works in with the routine collections. And because over a holiday period like Christmas and the New Year, they're always collecting late anyway because of the bank holidays. And so this is the earliest that they've said they can actually fit them in. Any other comments? Okay, but do we then vote that we go for both of them, and then with the proviso that if we can't get a location in Bowers Gifford, that we only have one, or are we going for the 2 dates? If we can't have one at Bowers Gifford, do we have 2? But if we can't get 2 different venues, because that's the reason we didn't have the one just now, because they were so close together at the same venue.
Yeah, thank you. I think we need to put the pressure back on James Hendry and his team to actually find a location. I think we should sort of stand our ground on this, and I think it should be down to them to actually find a different location for the residents of Bowers Gifford. Thank you.
So, what would the committee like to do? Would you like to vote on having 2,
Yes.
and then leave? Yes. Okay. All those in favour of? We've got an addendum to add on. We've been requested for a Christmas tree for Wat Tyler Christmas event. The funding consideration is £200 for a cut Christmas tree for a Christmas event currently being planned for Wat Tyler Park. Date to be confirmed for this Christmas. Are we all in agreement that we vote for £200 to be?
Yes.
All those in favour? 100%. Thank you. Okay, thank you.